Hello everybody, welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and we are sitting here in the Cessna-182 on a VFR flight from Tucson up to Sedona, we are probably about 20 minutes out from touchdown, from wheels down. We're just passing over the mountain ranges here, getting close here. So far, as you can see here, we're getting some turbulence. The wind is starting to pick up a bit, temperature's starting to rise as it gets warmer in the day, but luckily we're in Sedona, so it's still pretty cold outside. We've also gained a ton of altitude for elevation, not near as hot as Tucson. For anyone who's never been to Sedona, if you ever get the chance, it's not quite as what it was about 15-20 years ago, but when I was a kid it was fantastic. Bubby. There we go. So, made a couple pilot errors so far for those of you just tuning in. I had the altimeter set on the altimeter, the barometric pressure, but I didn't set it up here on the electronic gauges and didn't compare. So that's a no-no number one. No-no number two is I wasn't paying attention to my true airspeed. I was only looking at my indicated, so my timing I thought was off because I thought that we weren't at the speed we needed to be, and we were actually right where we needed to be. We were doing pretty good. We were about 1 knot slow, 1 or 2 knots slow. Oh, we're loading in again. Let that finish up. There it goes. You know, that's really not bad. I hope that they find a way to optimize that, but I mean, all in all, it's not terrible. Happens every now and then. Every few minutes isn't bad. We can live with that. So anyway, drifted off course quite a few times. Nothing permanent, you know, matter of seconds, but did it enough times where I think had the Garmin not been here, I think we would have been in trouble. Anyway, so yeah, a couple of pilot errors. Kind of frustrated about that. That's why I wish that this thing wasn't here. I wish we had a 182 that just had the old steam gauges. Make it a little bit more fun to learn on. But the same token, can't lie, it was nice to have it. Now I know we have this VFR map that does the same thing, but you know, really want to try to get it without it. Let's check our radios here. It's probably about time for us to tune in. Shouldn't need Albuquerque. Nearest airport. There's Pine Top. I guess we're not there yet. Alright. Guess we still got a ways to go. Yeah, see, like that. Drifted off course again. I'm supposed to be on 335. It just happens so fast. It's weird. I'm not used to it happening that quick. I was mentioning in the last video that you know, I'm used to DCS World, where you know, you enter in your waypoints and you have your heading bug on the heading tape, you know, your waypoint indicator, you know, so you definitely get spoiled. And I got high again. Well, I need to get over those mountains. That's what I was doing. So it's kind of frustrating. I'm kind of disappointed in my first flight like this, in a VFR flight of this nature. You know, flying to Phoenix is one thing. You just, even the flight path itself shows you basically just follow I-10. So I wanted to go somewhere that didn't have a whole lot of landmarks to follow, that you really had to pay attention to your speed and your course, and I really think that had I not had the Garmin, I think we would have gotten lost. So that part's kind of frustrating, but you know, it's a learning experience, I guess. Let's see how we did on fuel. We still have 15 gallons, so it did pretty good. We would have had time to circle for a while had we gotten lost. Let's see if I've got... Come on, baby. What's going on here? Alright, there we go. Let's tune. Alright, got Sedona up on the comms. Damn. See how far off we are here. Oh, scenery's loading. Yeah, so introductory flight at the end of September, and based on how we did today, I think I'm in for a shock. Because this was borderline embarrassing. But, like I said, I has no shame. I will learn. I'm a good Padawan. Alright, so we're getting close to our descent here. Tried to fix my camera there. There we go. I can get back on course again. Just so easy to lose your heading in these smaller aircraft. So much easier. Alright, so we're still 29902. This. Damn it. Gosh, now I'm getting knocked around. Make some course corrections. Wow. Really getting kicked around now. Start our descent here. Start turning back towards our runway now. Bad time for the scenery to load. Cut it out. Damn, come on, baby. This is good stuff. And I have been in a Cessna where it's done this before, so like this, I totally understand. I do recognize this is legitimate. Remember one time my dad and I had gone for a flight, and I was still new to flying. I was pretty young, and we were coming in. I think we had gone down to Nogales for breakfast, and flew down to Nogales, got breakfast burritos down at the airport, little Unicom area, or little Unicom port, cute little place. You know, it was Nogales Hair Care Tire Center and Airport kind of place. Great breakfast burritos. Great breakfast burritos. Things were huge. Although hindsight being 2020, I guess we both got really lucky. When you think about, you know, eating breakfast burritos and then getting into a plane. Could have been not one of our better decisions, but it worked out okay, thank God. But anyway, by the time we got back to Tucson, it had gotten really hot really fast. That's the thing about Tucson, you know, at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, you know, it can be, you know, 60, 70 degrees, nice, cool, crisp day. And then by 8:30, 9 o'clock, it could be 110 degrees outside. And so, you know, 115, 118 on the asphalt, you know, for the runway. Anyway, terrifying when the main wheels touched down. I think I don't think it was a microburst, but definitely a wind shear. Lifted the plane right back up and dropped us right down. Scared the hell out of me. I never thought I was going to get into a plane again. At this point, I am using the nav to get back on track. I blew my VNav. It is what it is. I'll try again on the next one. Or not VNav, VFR. Hopefully you guys knew what I meant. Yeah, I was way off course. That would have been bad. I don't even know that we would have been close enough to even to visually see it. So, yeah, terrible plotting on my part. Terrible plotting. I'll work on it and hopefully don't make the same mistakes in the next one when make a new flight. How are we doing on gas? Oh, we got plenty of gas. Good. I do feel like the yoke response is a little much. Like it goes from nothing to all of a sudden you're climbing like hell. So that's something I'm not crazy about, but is what it is. let the autopilot take over for a little bit. Let's see if we got the airfield in sight yet. Yeah, probably hasn't loaded in yet. So I will say that it definitely seems that the sim is great practice for things like VFR, especially with the terrain accurate textures. The flight time is accurate. So I mean, I'm definitely taking a lot of pros from this too. Is I recognize that I'm obviously not experienced with VFR flight. I've got a lot to learn. I can already see real-world applications where it's going to be nice to practice with it, just based on the mistakes I've made tonight. So I think it's going to be a good thing, and I think anyone who is in my boat and is interested in getting your pilot's license, I still stand firm to what I said, in my 5-day review on the initial impressions. I think it's going to be a fantastic training aid for certain applications. The flight models, obviously, we all know they are lacking. Even this Cessna still has things to be desired. But it's certainly not without hope and not without merit. But the application of general practice, for VFR flight, plotting, managing your airspeed, managing your heading, altitude, everything that I failed at today, is definitely going to be a big game changer. And I think because of the way the terrain is loading, and that it's actually giving you real world textures and therefore real world distance. Not to say that I think X-Plane 11 did fine with distance, but you didn't have the real world textures, you didn't have the visual references that you do, that MSFS 2020 is going to give us. I think it's going to be an awesome training aid. I really do. I'm excited based on what I've seen today. This is my first real flight in MSFS 2020 where it wasn't a graphics settings or first impressions or just tooling around Tucson and looking at the boneyard and things. This was my first attempt at legitimate point A to point B. Let's see how we do. And I am, like I said already, I'm very well aware that I would have failed this little trip badly. I think we would have ended up in Miramar before I found Sedona. So like I said, that's kind of frustrating on my part, but I'm pretty well aware of the things I need to work on. My course management was pretty bad. Understanding, I guess the big things I don't understand yet that I need to do some research on. If you guys have input, I know a couple of you are real pilots, you've already mentioned, so if you happen to see this, a couple of things that I'm interested in is when you're doing a VFR flight plan, how do you account for the takeoff distance, the climb to altitude? So inside of MSFS, when it gave us our waypoints, it gave us the initial climb out speed of 54 knots, and then we were to turn on our course heading to 335, and at 8,500 feet traveling at 144 knots indicated, or true airspeed, for like 24 minutes. But a lot of that time on 335 was spent in the climb. So how do you figure that time frame in, and what is the proper method to figure out your climb distance, right? How do you know how long it's going to take you? I'm sure that's weights and balances, and if you guys just know of any good references, I'd be happy to go find that information myself, and then I'll be happy to do a tutorial on it, and show everyone else what I've learned. I love sharing the information when I figure this kind of crap out, and that's what my channel is all about. If you watch my DCS videos, everything on there is either a tutorial or some tool that I found to make the experience a little bit easier, or a little bit more efficient for you, for the pilot, besides the tool that is, you know, sitting behind the yoke right now. Anyway, so, you know, I'm always trying to find documentation. I know there's tons of documentation out there. The problem is when you don't have the real world background, you don't know what's legit and you don't know what's too much. I think that's the hardest part about being someone in my shoes who has the interest and the enthusiasm but doesn't have the background knowledge. Is there's plenty of documentation out there, but I think there's a lot of documentation out there also that's way more than what you need. And so it's hard to cipher through, okay, well, does this really apply to me, or am I burning the midnight oil on something that isn't really going to benefit me at this time? You know what I mean? And I think that is Sedona right there. That is. All right, so let's go ahead and kill the autopilot here. And let's start getting her down. Come off the throttle. Enter in the pattern from the 45. I think we want to get down about 5,700 feet, I think is the approach altitude for here. Whoa, girl. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What was that? Trim wheel? Come on now. What are you doing to me here, homie? We don't need to be fighting like that. We're better than that. Anyway, so yeah, those are the big things that I want to try to figure out, is, you know, where the good learning material is that's going to break it down to someone who's truly green, you know, who truly doesn't have any of that background knowledge, because I think some of that's pretty critical, you know. And like I said, I'm all about finding the documentation. I just don't know what's too much, you know, or what documentation is still current, for all that matter. Anyway, so yeah, if anyone can share some tips and tricks, documentation, things that would help avoid some of the problems I ran into today, that'd be excellent. Let's go ahead and get some flaps going here. Flaps 30. Let's see here, checking our descent. We got the weather checked, power checked, chimneys required. Let's get our lights. Don't really need the landing light. Whoa, bad time for lag, Spike. Come on, man, knock it off, game. Alright, before landing, passenger fuel selector set as both. Mixture is required. RPM set to full RPM. Alright, flaps, airspeed 7 to 80, 60 to 70 down. Okay, autopilot off. Alright, so we're ready for the approach. Airspeed is between 70 and 80. We're just coming through 80, so let's go ahead and go full flaps. And let's get back in here and reset this camera since I was a bonehead. And what I did was hit that zoom wheel, didn't I? Yes, I did. Alright, still looking for that 5,700 feet. Start turning, making our downwind. Looking for about 32 degrees, 032 on the heading indicator for the downwind. Or 030, probably good enough. Still passing through 6,000. Let's power up a bit, we're a little slow. Airfield's right about the middle of the strut, so we're good there. We are at a bad angle though. Let's go back on our freaking heading again. Looking for an approach speed of about 70 knots today. And we're just waiting for our airfield to be at our 45 degrees here. Managing that descent here now. We're getting some. It's gonna be a bumpy ride in. Almost time for us to turn. All right, let's start our turn. And we're going to engines idle. Never mind, I was thinking that's 170 or 152 be here, 150, excuse me. Checking our position here. Still looking for that 70 knots on the approach. Greatest turns. Gosh, we are getting bounced all over the place. This is going to be a rough landing, guys. Terrible approach so far. Look at that crosswind. Come on, Mama. You got to get your nose down. Space shuttle approach. Look at this. We're going to drop like a rock. Ooh. Kill that lift. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Give me the numbers. Give me the keys. Give me the keys. Nope. We're gonna float. Kick that rudder. Kick that rudder. Kick that rudder. God damn. Ooh. Okay. Ooh, baby. All right. Mercy. That was challenging to say the least. All right, well, we are here. We finally made it. Damn. All right, let's clean the aircraft up. Find a place to park this pretty girl. Let's send her down here for a second. Looks like over there, right there, between those two. Okay, landing light off, strobe light off, nav lights off, cowl flaps open, propeller to RPM, mixture as required. Oh wait, sorry, wrong one. Trim, yep, okay. Mixture as required, trim reset, flaps up, cowl flaps open, pitot heat off, we didn't have it on. Alright, let's go ahead and just get her into position here. Come on, man. My brakes are really sensitive on the pedals, like you just barely touch them and you get a lot. So we'll go for, come on. All right. Whew. All right, so there's our parking brake. Now let's see here. To secure, so we have parking brake set, throttle to idle. Avionics 1 and 2 are off. Magneto's ground check. So I think we're just checking the. I'm not sure what ground check is. Magneto keys off and out. Alright, electric equipment off. Oh. Alright. Beacon light off. Everything secured. Magneto's off. Keys out. Cowl flaps are open, although we should probably close those now. Chocks set. Tie downs. Sure. Shut the window. Alright. Alright guys, we made it here. Terrible parking job, but what the hell. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was, hopefully it was entertaining at the least, besides being a cluster you-know-what. But anyway, I will catch you guys in the next one, where hopefully I have some further information, a little bit more practice, and a little bit better experience for you. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.